Matthew 5, verse 21 says, "You have heard that the ancients were told, the Old Testament saints were told, you shall not commit murder, and whoever commits murder shall be liable to the court. And I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother shall be guilty before the court. And whoever says to his brother, you good for nothing, shall be guilty before the Supreme Court, the Sanhedrin. And whoever says, you fool, shall be guilty enough to go into the fiery hell." The fiery Gehenna. The Gehenna of fire. So, what can we learn about this text? When we say, you good for nothing, it means raka in the Greek. And raka just means useless person. You're just a useless person. And when we call our brother a useless person, it is an expression of contempt. So we have contempt on our brother, and we are guilty. It also means empty-headed. It means an empty-headed man. And if you say your brother is a fool, moros in the Greek, it's a very unwholesome word. It's a very, very unwholesome word to speak in its day. What this means is that they're a spiritually dead fool. They're impious or godless. So when you call your brother an impious or godless person, you're guilty enough to go into the fiery hell. Of course, you are with any other sin. Okay, the wages of sin is death. Hell is the second death, as mentioned in Revelation. It points to the extremity of what you just did. Points to the extremity of this sin. So this sin is extreme, okay? Honestly, we have no right. We have no right to look into his personal life and judge him. We cannot condemn a brother saying he's just godless or impious. Okay, he might have done impious things, right? Your brother might have done impious things, but we're called to love one another. We're called to love one another, okay? So even though we've probably not associated ourselves with this person that might have done impious things, right? We could still love them. We could still point out their wrongdoings, but still love them. What I mean by love is point out the wrongdoings, of course, but also don't insult them. Don't put them down. We have a tendency as human beings to just thrash on someone for the wrongdoings. I'm talking even if this wrongdoing was toward you. Don't insult them. Don't call them impious, godless, good for nothing. Don't call them those things. Love them instead. Bring them up. Build them up. As Paul says in Ephesians 4, use language only to build up one another. We have no right to call them fool. We have no right to call them moros. As the scripture says, we'd be liable before, not the Supreme Court, but before God. We'd be liable to go into the fiery hell. And that is what Jesus is talking about.